Welcome to the Vinny and Rabbit Show, formerly known as LXV. It's Sunday. It's a bit later than normal, but we are here. We are slightly light on the ground on panelists for one reason and another. We may well be joined by one or two of them as we go through. We shall have to see.
We will see.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you today?
A lot better than I was after we drive home from Expo. Let's put it that way. I had a few mechanical issues driving home. It was interesting.
Well, speaking of that, tell us about your experience with the Expo. Was it a good show?
It was. I was there all day yesterday, literally all day, and it was immense. I was with Zippy and Otaku and Chris, and I don't think I've been stopped by as many people, leaguers, subscribers to the channel, everybody else, manufacturers. Stopped and had chin wags and chats with them. It was just crazy, absolutely crazy, and it was such a good atmosphere. A lot of the times at the UK Expos, all the separate stands have their own music systems blaring out and playing music. That has all gone. There was just like one central music system. And yeah, awesome. A really, really enjoyable day. Met a lot of the people in the chat here. Nasty Coils, cracking coils, buddy. I've got them in my stack mech. But yeah, really, really great shows and lots of new things dropping.
That's awesome, bro. I'm glad y'all had a good time. I wish I could have made it over there. I'll definitely catch one with y'all soon.
Yeah, it's another level. It really is. I've seen a lot of lives from a lot of the American ones, and the footfall and the amount of people that are waiting to get in with the clouds, like the Hall of Vape and things like that. It was just, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw some of the pictures from over there. The show looked amazing. It looked like a seriously awesome, like a blowout, basically. Like everything I saw, video show, like pictures, everything looked so great. I was like, man, this looks like an amazing show. I got to admit, I was super jelly when I was watching y'all's videos and your pictures. I'm like, God, I wish I was there so bad.
I've got a whole collection of videos I'm going to put together and a little vlog from the Expo. It got cut short. Unsurprisingly, I was having a few tech issues. The signal in there was diabolical.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, we tried to do a little impromptu show, but the guys were having bad signal issues, so we decided to hold off and try to come in tonight and give y'all a little update on how the show went.
Well, the only guy who could get a signal was Chris. My signal was absolutely diabolical. It was.
Well, maybe we could do, like, I know y'all got a bunch of videos and stuff. We could do something special for the viewers this week, and we'll get an edit put up. I'll do a really cool edit, and we'll have it put up on the page so everybody can see how the show was that couldn't make it.
Sounds like a plan. That does sound like a plan. And Acapella from Rep Smart was there, the man behind the hacker, repping his hacker really, really well. Nasty Coils, Clint from Mad Hatters with Dez. Dez isn't actually in the chat for a change. Got to meet Dez and Clint, and yeah.
That is awesome.
Dez was taking nose rips off my Stormbreaker on a 007
Oh my God.
Nose ripping it on the Mason dump tank.
That's painful.
He kept doing it and doing it. I was just like, what the hell?
That's insane. I remember we used to do call-outs, like nose rip call-outs, and I seriously hit a .07 on a single one time, and it was a dripper, and it felt like it fried all my nose hairs all the way back into my sinus cavity. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, that would not be good. And of course, I filmed handing over my apocalypse that I gave away last week. That was filmed, me handing it over to Paul, so Paul could pass it on to John, who's in the chat.
Gutted.
But yeah, it was Really, really good. Really good.
Well, if you want to, we could go ahead and tell everybody what we're using and what we're vaping on.
Sure thing. I'll go first for a change. Wow.
All right, hit it.
Okay, I'm on my little Smock Fetch, which review went live this week, which I absolutely love, and I'm not hiding the fact that I do love it. On there, I have some Firehouse Vape Salts, the Pink Pyro, which is a summer fruit. It's really, really juicy and fruity. And I got an old favourite out because Chris was going on about stacks the other day. I got my AV Chubby Woody Industrial out, and I have a Elite V2 from Armageddon sat on top, not with a half moon drip tip. And on there, I'm vaping the dessert stuff, profiteroles and cream.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Which I picked up at Expo for a review, and it will be reviewed. And it's pretty spot on flavor wise, really is. Oh, and I'll just mention the coils I'm using. I'm using some Nasty Coils series coils.
Hey, Nasty Coils.
And some cotton candy. This cotton is absolutely banging. Absolutely banging. If you was there, Rabbit, you got hooked up. I hooked up all the other guys with some of this to give it a whirl.
I've had that before. It's really good cotton.
It's damn good. We know the guy behind it here in the UK who actually manufactures it and everything. And we got to meet him at the weekend as well. Ben, he's top lad, really good lad.
Yeah, cotton candy's good stuff. Oh, is it my turn?
Oh, why are you vaping on that? Yeah, there's only two of us, Rabbit.
Oh, that's right. That was quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta say, screw you, Vinny, because you got me hooked on this thing. I fucking love this thing. This little fetch is awesome. I'm running at about 32 watts with RPM coil in it, running some Final Boss Vapes Hydra. It's like a cereal. And this little thing hits, man, like it's a great little mod. It's a good little pocket mod. And I'm actually got my tank because I was driving to the shop so I could do the show. I'm on that new black market from Prohibition. It's the chocolate cookie pudding. And I got it in my tank, my Raptor tank you always see me using. I love this tank. And as far,
you got in your Rapture?
Huh?
Sorry to interrupt. What coil you got in your Rapture? I actually reviewed that. I'm
actually running the double Falcon coil in it right now, but I usually run the double Raptor coil. And I am on my dripper tonight. I'm using the Mech Life Arcless with the old Twisted Messes too, and I got a half moon stubby coal miner tip on it. And I'm running flat fours by Raps Coils with a 21700. And I'm dripping something amazing I was talking to Vinny about earlier. It's called Angry Graham Bears by Ferrum City. It is a Teddy Graham dipped in vanilla icing, and this is amazing. If you get a chance to try this, you need to jump on it because this juice is amazing. If you like bakeries, you need to try this.
Sounds stunning. It absolutely sounds stunning.
I might have to get you guys a bottle over there because I'm telling you, man, it's phenomenal, and it comes in 120 mils, so I love it.
Yeah, big bottles. Gotta have a big bottle.
Yeah, I drip like 60 mils a day, I think, so I gotta at least have 120.
I can do that, especially when it's 9.
He's back. I disappeared. All right. So, do you want me to do a little segment real quick, just to get it rolling until the guys get in?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
great.
I wanted to talk about some things I noticed as a trend, so I'm gonna jump into that real quick, and we'll get that started. All right, guys, this is going to be a quick little segment of Rabbit's Rants. I've been tuning into all of these live feeds. We have a lot of stuff going on in the U.S., which I know y'all know about. We talk about it all the time. And over here, a lot of people will jump in at these courtrooms and they live feed the broadcast, so all the vapors in the U.S. can actually, participate and see what's going on. And I noticed something that really got under my skin. They kept taking children up on the stand in the courtroom, like having kids come up there and talk about how their friends are vaping in school and that it's an epidemic and we need to stop all vaping because kids are vaping. So my first issue with this is very simple. Number one, we shouldn't use kids to push an agenda, period, ever. Regardless of what your point of view is on either side, you shouldn't use children to push that agenda. That, to me, that is wrong. If you have an argument, then a grown-up should talk to a grown-up, and that's how it should go. Children should not be used as a tool to manipulate the public, in my opinion. I think anytime that you use kids for that, in my opinion, it comes off bad. If a kid's breaking the law in school, when I went to school, if I got in trouble breaking the law, which a kid vaping is breaking the law because you're not old enough to vape. So if you're breaking the law in school, you should be punished, like, plain and simple. You don't take away a grown-up's right to vape because children are doing it. Like that blows my mind. And they have these 14, 15-year-old kids up on the stand, and they're like, we need to stop all vaping because my friends are vaping at school in the bathrooms and blah blah blah. It's like, listen, if your friends are vaping in school in the bathrooms, then go tell on them. They need to be punished for it. It's breaking the law. It's the same thing as if they were caught drinking or smoking weed or cigarettes or anything. If you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, you should be punished for it. There's no reason we should be asking the government to parent our children. That is our job as parents, is to parent our children. And why not? If that's your stance, then why not come together with responsible adult vapors like me and other people that I know in the U.S. and work on a solution to fix it, instead of saying, well, we're going to stop all vaping because kids are getting a hold of it. Okay, but I was drinking in high school. I smoked cigarettes in high school. Like, that has never stopped. So why are you using that as a platform? And it's funny because, okay, funny, not funny, because we saw this big push about how vaping is killing people and blah, blah, blah. And then when the CDC pops out and decides to put forth the truth finally and says, hey, we made a mistake. We have now done testing, and we have come to the conclusion that it was not nicotine vaping, that it was actually illicit THC cartridges. So now, all of a sudden, they start to steer away from that. In the last 2 or 3 court proceedings that I've seen live feeds, I haven't seen hardly anything about people dying. Now they're focusing on kids vaping, because now they're like, oh shit, well, they proved us wrong on this one, so let's go ahead and jump on another topic. Now we'll make it all about the kids vaping. So it just blows my mind. But I also see it as a positive. I see it as they're running out of ways to combat us because we're proving everything that they're saying wrong. That's good. That's a positive. And anyone that knows me knows I always try to find the positive in everything. Speaking on that, don't let any of this negative publicity get you down. If you're an American vapor, if you're one of our American leaguers and you're watching this show, stay positive. We will be in DC next month on the 9th. We will be fighting for this industry. We have a large number of vapors showing up in DC to fight for this industry. Stay positive. Stay positive. Push the education. Push the facts. If somebody comes at you with something negative, just turn it around on them. Use it as an opportunity to educate them. Don't argue with them. Don't fight with them. Use it as an educational tool. Me and my wife do this all the time. I had somebody say something to me at the gas station the other day. Hey, man, and did you watch the news? Those are killing you. I don't think they understand that they were picking the wrong guy to bring it up to, But I spent my time, I think it was like 20 or 30 minutes, actually educating them on the facts about vaping and what's really happening. We have to, exactly, Steve. We have to stay positive. We have to stay respectful, and we have to find chances to educate these people on the facts. That is super important. Um, and once again, before I finish, just stop using kids to push an agenda. It's not okay. Uh, and all you American viewers that we have, you see the thing on the screen. If there's any possible way you can be there, most of the major cities and all the states that are surrounding DC will have a bus that's coming to the rally. If you get a hold of one of your one of the bigger shops in your area, I guarantee you there's going to be one that knows how to get you in contact with that bus and get you on it. If you think that your voice doesn't count because you're just one person, I promise you you're wrong. Us as the League of Extraordinary Vapers, we are big on every voice counts. Every voice. We are all the same. We are all equal. We are all in this together, and we have to stand united and fight together. None of us are better than anyone else. I don't care what mod company you represent, what juice you represent, what you vape, what mod you use. None of that. We are all vapers, period. And that's the most important fact that we have to remember is we are all vapors. And also, Vinny, if you got any rebuttal, if there's anything you want to talk about on that, would be awesome. I'd be happy to talk with you on it.
Yeah, well, I've got a child who just started secondary school here in the UK, and I asked him and quizzed him because obviously, generally, what happens in the States comes here eventually. And I've actually tasked him with going around his school at dinner time and break times to go around and try and find to see if he can see any kids in his school vaping, and he's given up because he can't. But actually, it doesn't seem. I have very good friends that are teachers, and they're really concerned about it. But they can't actually give me any proof that they've seen it happening here in the UK yet. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is because it just kids like to rebel. We all did it. I did it as a kid. Everyone else did it as a kid. It's just a form of rebellion against parents, against the system, and everything like that. At the end of the day, yes, it's illegal and it's bad for them, but they're not smoking either. So when you look at the rates of these children, especially in the States, the kids vaping and smoking, you can see the correlation of it.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally get it. It's illegal and wrong, and it is harmful. Well, it's suggested to be harmful at a young age to the brain with the nicotine. Um, I haven't seen any actual clinical research into that myself, but I have sort of read bits and bobs around the subject. And it's wrong, but like I say, it relates to smoking rates of youth as well, especially over there in America. Obviously, places like eBay and that are clamping down big time on the online sales of vaping products. And I say, good on you, eBay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not here in the UK yet. I hope it will be, because obviously that's another way that. But is eBay's sort of rules around kids using eBay and purchasing it off eBay in America different? Because they can't do it here until they're over 18, unless they're using a parent's account.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'm sure they can get a hold of someone else's account login or their parents' information and easily set up an account their parents might not know about. Do a fake email address, set up something to get around all that. I guarantee you it's possible. I honestly think that our only solution is just education. We have to get our parents talking to our kids about it. Me and my wife, we talk to our kids all the time about it. Like it's crazy. They're even pushing negative agenda in schools, like false information. Which, if you think about it, when I was a kid, the more they told me not to smoke cigarettes until I was old enough and not to drink, the more we did it because we were curious. because we wanted to know why they were so telling us not to so much. Because we grow up and we find something we like I like candy, I like to watch movies that have, horror movies, and then you got your parents telling you, don't watch those scary movies, don't eat that candy. Well, I liked it. And then when we get to high school, they're saying, don't smoke cigarettes, don't touch alcohol. Well, how do I know I'm not going to like that? They did the same thing when I was younger about horror movies and candy. See, our brains start to become accustomed to wanting to do things that we're told not to, because it starts at an early age. You're so used to hearing, don't do that, when you like doing it. So it's almost like second nature. And then they go, hey, well, no vaping. You kids do not vape. You're not allowed to vape. And kids are like, well, why not? I'm going to give it a shot. I like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's making it worse that they're doing that, because I think it's causing more and more to push towards that, because they're telling them not to do it. I think that's a horrible idea.
Yeah, I have to agree with it. I really, really do. It was all about rebellion for me, not necessarily just going to try it because they said you can't do it. Tell me I can't do it, I'll go do it. Tell me I can't do anything, I'll go do it. I've done that pretty much most of my life. I like a challenge.
Yep, same
and
here.
I think that's what a lot of it is, in my eyes anyway. But yeah, it's strange. Yeah, I don't think it's that weird epidemic. I'm sick of hearing that
word, man. That word is so aggravating. Anything could be an epidemic. Like, think about it. Anything. Like, eating fast food in America is an epidemic, because it's easy to get. Everyone can just grab it and go home and eat. They don't have to worry about cooking and all the other crap. So, I mean, technically that's an epidemic. Like, they're using that word like vaping, like it's like vaping in schools is all of a sudden an epidemic. When in reality, they brought up in court, like not even 2 or 3 weeks ago, they brought up in court that teen smoking was down like more than it's ever been. Like, and I don't mean like in the past 5 or 10 years. I mean, in the history of them keeping track of the numbers, smoking in high school is down more than it's ever been. Like, think about that. And they're sitting here saying, oh, well, vaping is it's a gateway to smoking. Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The whole purpose of vaping is to get away from smoking. Vaping is an alternative, a healthier alternative, a safer alternative to smoking cigarettes. Like, that's the facts. No one's going to start vaping and go, hey, I want to try a cigarette now. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would you want to go to a disgusting burning tobacco paper crap when you can vape Teddy Grahams dipped in frosting, or freaking birthday cake, or freaking fruit, or candy, like stuff that tastes good? Why would you ever do that? Like, that blows my mind that that's even an argument from them.
Some interesting comments in the chat. Obviously, Tracy's is up there that certain items, when delivered, are supposed to be asked for ID before they give them over. She's never had that done, and she buys a lot online. Yeah, I buy quite a lot of stuff online, and I've never actually been asked for ID.
Yeah, same here. I mean, that's a good option, though. That's something they could do. Like, if you're going to regulate these things, then they need to have physical driver's license that you can verify before giving it to them. Otherwise, ship it back to the company that shipped it, and then have them refund the money. Like,
yeah,
it's super simple. Like, if you want to keep kids from ordering, then make them have to have a freaking ID that they can verify, they can scan. I mean, every delivery driver I know carries one of those little scanners around. So why not make it possible, download some sort of program where they can take your ID and scan it. And if it's legit and you're the person on the ID, then you sign for it and it's your package. If they can't sign for it, or they don't have an ID, or if it's not that person, ship it back and have them refund the money. Like, simple. Like, I don't think we should shut down all of online vaping or vape sales, but I do think they need to regulate it better. Do I think they should take it out of all gas stations? I don't think they should just strip it down from every gas station, because I know a lot of smokers walk in and they see it in the gas station and they get curious and they want to try it. But I do think it should be limited in the gas stations. I do think that they should be a lot more strict on ID policy. If you get caught 3 times, you shut the business down, period. The whole thing, not just their sale of vaping. If you get caught once, you pay a fine, and you know what I'm saying? If you get caught again, you pay a fine and you get shut down for a certain amount of time. If you get caught the third time, shut the whole thing down. Like, make the punishment fit the crime. If they're not going to abide by it, if they're not going to do what they're supposed to do, then punish them. This goes along with everything, like including the children. If you're a child and you get caught doing something illegal, you get punished. I did. My dad would tear my ass up when I got caught smoking at school, or if I got caught drinking with my friends, or if I got doing anything I wasn't supposed to be doing. I got punished. That was what my dad did. I'm not saying every kid should get their ass whooped, obviously, but if you're going to do something wrong as a child, there should be punishments. There should be consequences. Don't look at the government and say, hey, government, can you please stop the making of all of these things that help grown-ups because my kids get a hold of them? How does that make any sense? Like, how is everyone in the country not going, what the fuck is wrong with our government? Like, it blows my mind that even non-vapers aren't like that. I think every American, period, should be like that. I mean, this is a very simple thing. They want to take away our right to choose a flavor or to choose to vape. If a kid is vaping, the kid should be punished for vaping. If you start punishing the kids for breaking the law, guess what happens? The ones that are thinking about doing it are going to go, screw that shit. I don't want to get in trouble. Think about it. It's the same thing with drugs. Well, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to smoke weed in the bathroom. Well, then if you punish that kid in class that got caught high, how many other kids you think are going to come back to school getting high? Not very many, because they're going to be scared shitless that they're going to get kicked out of school, or they're going to end up in juvenile detention center, or they're going to get in trouble for the crime that they committed. I think what the problem is a lot of people are forgetting the fact that these kids are breaking the law. Like, you're putting a child on the stand to talk about how, oh, it's an epidemic, kids are vaping. If they're vaping, they're breaking the law, plain and simple. Like, it's that simple. It's black and white. There is no gray area. They're either doing what they're supposed to be, or they're not doing what they're supposed to be. If they're breaking the law, they get punished. Like, why is that? Why are we making that such a hard thing to understand? Like, I don't get it. Like, it's almost like people are just like, oh, well, I work all the time. I don't have time to, watch my kids 24/7. Guess what? I work 70-something hours a week, but I still make sure my kids are educated on the things they're not supposed to do, because that is my job. Like, super easy.
That's parenting, folks. That's what it's called. Yeah. It's called parenting. You have children, you have to parent them. But again, what I don't get, Rabbit, is why this is all of a sudden, as the politicians over there are saying, become an epidemic. Because your wife came up with them statistics the other week, and was it 2011? Since then, there's been a 0.8% rise in youth vaping, was it? Something like that. And overall, when you worked it out, why is it taking them so long to realise that and then call that an epidemic when quite clearly it's not?
Yeah. And the crazy part is, if you look at the numbers, if you go back, say 10 years, and you pull up the numbers, and you see the polls of how many kids are smoking 10 years ago, and then you go and you pull up the numbers to now, and you weigh it out. So yes, smoking is way down, and yes, vaping is way up. But guess what? It plateaus. So the kids that were smoking are now vaping. Like, think about that. So the numbers haven't really, like, the delivery system has changed, but the numbers are almost identical. So they haven't actually dropped or raised. They've almost been steady. Like, if you look at the actual data, which me and my wife have pulled up and went over, the numbers haven't actually dropped or raised. They've just changed delivery systems. The nicotine intake has been pretty consistent. The thing is, they're looking at it like, well, now there's a lot of kids vaping. Okay, well, how many are smoking?
Yeah.
Exactly, because the numbers for smoking went way down because they found another alternative. Do I think kids should be vaping? No. I don't think kids should be smoking either. I also don't think kids should be drinking alcohol or doing drugs. But this is things that kids get into when they're in high school. All kids do. Your job is to educate them on the consequences of their actions. If you educate your children on the consequences of their actions, then your kids can make a conscious decision on whether or not they want to make that step. If they make that step, then you punish them. If they don't like the punishment, guess what? They're not going to make that step again. That's our job as parents. That's not our government's job to step in and do it for us. And that's just as simple as it gets.
Amen, brother. It really dumbfounds me. It really, really does over there. I mean, like I say, it doesn't seem to be as bad here. Yes, I think things are coming to the UK because obviously there's discussions on flavours going on in Scotland and over in Ireland as well now. And UK vapers still sort of sit there and think we're fine. I know there is quite a few that do advocacy and do support you all over there in the States and things like that. But there's a lot still that could do more as well. And that's what we're trying to do, really, is try get as many people as we can support the world of vaping because it's all going to come under attack. And it's going to come on. With UK, we've got TDP2 coming. I was talking with some guys, some liquid manufacturers about this at the weekend. And some of them are petrified. But a lot of them are supporting it as well. They want to produce clean liquids, get more regulations in place. It'll be our short fills that we use to get around the TPD laws that will be attacked, I think. What they'll do exactly, I'm not entirely sure yet. I know a lot of other people have got more access to the information and discussions that are going on, but I think when TPD2 comes to the UK, it will attack our short fills in one way or another, whether it's they'll have to be tested or demand that they're all clean room produced. I'm not entirely sure what it'll be, but there will be something. But personally, I think it'll be a good thing. But yeah,
well, I think that's why we're so. I think that's why we the LXV is so focused on we got to band together. Like we have to fight as a unit. And I'm not talking about just US vapers, and I'm not talking about just UK vapers or European vapers or Australia or all vapors together. As in, if you vape, you are a part of this industry, which means you are a part of this community, which means we are a family. We all have got to fight together. We can't every country is gonna get their own specific attack. I guarantee you there's gonna be something attacked for everyone. Right now the US is dealing with flavor bans and crap like this everywhere. We have to fight together. Like we have to be a family in this. I guarantee you that if it starts happening in the UK, like let's just put out a scenario. Let's say, for instance, the US wakes up one day and we go to this rally and they're like, man, there's a lot of these vapors and they've been doing it a long time and they seem like everything's fine. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe we should do some research. And they wake up and they go, we're going to put regulations in, but we're going to still let vaping be here because we think y'all are right and that it's 95.5% safer. So what if that happens? Okay, then say the following month in the UK, the TPD2 steps back in, and then y'all are dealing with a bunch of crap. Do you honestly think that all the family over here is just going to go, oh, that sucks, sorry, UK? No, I guarantee you that the US will rally behind the UK. And we have to do that for every single country. It's going to keep popping up. Whether it's India, anywhere in Asia, it's going to happen. We have got to stay united above all else. We cannot have infighting. We cannot be attacking each other. We cannot be destroying each other. We have to stay together. I still see some of it. I'm on every social media platform there is. Vinny knows, like I go ham on social media. I still see posts where people are taking back stabs at people and talking about this or that and taking stabs at what mod they're using and what company they rep. Listen, none of that shit matters if they take it away. None of it. I don't care what mod you use, what brand you use, what juice you vape. None of that shit matters if they take it all away from us. And I'm telling you, people, we got to stop worrying about that shit. You got to stop saying, "Oh well, fuck that company. They don't do enough advocacy." Like none of that right now matters. It's about what you are doing as the patient, what you're doing. So if someone asks what you're doing, can you step up and say, "Well, this is what I did." Because see, I have a list. I keep a list of stuff that I do because I still feel like I don't do enough, and I'm pushing every time I can to do something to help. I'm doing it, but I still feel like it's not enough. So you have to ask yourself every chance you get, are you doing enough? Even if it's something simple as commenting on a post that you know is fake, don't go on there and say, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot. That's THC black market cartridges. That's not vaping." Because guess what? That makes us look bad. If you go on there and you say, if I have a lot of information on this topic, if you would like to speak with me, maybe we can talk on a private message or something, and we can discuss what happened, and just wish them well. If they are sick, I'm sorry that they're going through this, and I hope that they get better. And if there's any information that you possibly might need on the facts of what happened, I'm willing to help. Just be positive, be respectful, offer some assistance. This is super important. Like we have got, exactly, John, we have got to be advocacy driven. We have got to fight for this industry. This industry, and I know for a fact it means just as much to me as it does to every one of you. We love this shit. Like it's every part of it. It's the coils, the cotton, the vape, the juice, the mods, like all of it. We fight for this industry because we love it. We fight for this industry because it saves lives. I have seen it firsthand. Like this industry saves lives. We don't just have an opportunity here. We have a fucking obligation to fight for this industry and to fight for each other as a whole. No matter what, do not get negative. Stay fucking united, please. That is the most important thing I can say. We have to stay together, guys. We have to.
Just read that.
Exactly. Yeah. 20 points.
That's what it's
20 million lives a year would be saved. Like, that's what we're talking about. Obligation, guys.
Just America.
Yeah.
Every smoker switched, that's what would be saved.
Like, that's insanity. Like, the tobacco industry in America alone, just in the U.S. alone, last year made $98.6 billion with a B. $98.6 billion. Do you know how many cigarettes that is? Like, that is insanity. You know how many people are going to die from those cigarettes next year? 500,000. 500,000 people will die in the U.S. next year from cigarettes. Is it going to be your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your friend, your neighbor? Yes. It will be somebody that one of us knows because it happens every fucking year. Vaping is our alternative. This is our healthier alternative, our safer alternative. This is it. This is our chance to save lives, people. Like, it's not just about clouds and dope tricks. Yes, I blow the biggest clouds you've ever seen. But, I'm just kidding. But seriously, like that, it's not about that. Like, we have to focus on the true purpose here, which is to help people. And we have a chance to do that. So we have to stick together and do that. We have to. I don't mean to get off on a rant or start rabbit holing here. I just get super passionate about this shit, man. Like we have to stay educating all the time. Like that, it blows my mind that people will lose focus of that and they'll just slide back into being comfortable. Like this is not the time to be comfortable. We have got to be fighting.
Damn right. You see, but obviously, I'm going to quickly. Ryan mentioned it in the chat a while ago. At the expo this weekend, there was a massive board for vape advocacy things and everything like that, but it was tucked away in the corner. In the corner of it, people were going and signing it. They were getting everyone to use social media and use the hashtag Vaping Saves Lives. I was stood there with Chris and was actually talking to the guy that was doing it. I went, "We've been using that hashtag for at least a month, nearly 2 months. It's all right having this, but you've got it out of the way, off the red carpet." Yeah, there was loads of people signed it and wrote the names on it and things like that, and the LXV was all over it as well. But yeah, it was tucked in the corner. Ryan said it was tucked away. There was a little stall down. There was a modders gallery and some coil makers. There was a bit tucked down there where you could get the signs where I stopped smoking, I switched to vaping using such and such flavour. It was all tucked out the way, which paid me right off.
Well, yeah, it should.
It was a huge event. We had loads of American companies there, juice companies, hardware companies, loads of them there. And yet our advocacy bit that was showing our support.
And you should be pissed off.
That was a big part, I think, on the org. But that was the only one of the weekend. So it's us as the UK need to. We do. I mean, I've cut back a lot on the review side of things and concentrated more on the advocacy. Obviously, we do this show, but it's not just that. I've dropped my activity levels in vaping groups because I'm going to other groups where the public are attacking vaping and stupid comments in the papers pages and things like that. And I'm sharing Public Health England facts that vaping is 95.5% better for you as than smoking, healthier. Not healthier. What was the word? Safer. The guy Ron from Blended Juices, I actually spent some time talking to him with Zippy at the weekend, and I asked him, do you know what the 5% damage is that vaping has done? What they've actually proven so far, what the damage, the unhealthy side of vaping is. And he was like, I ain't got a clue. And I explained to him, it's like going in a sauna and a steam room, inhaling all that warm steam. I went, it's a very similar thing. Because obviously you see the warning signs when you go in the steam rooms and the saunas not to spend over half an hour in there constantly doing it. And that's why.
Yeah.
That's what needs to get out there. Doesn't cause a cancer. Inhaling nicotine doesn't cause cancer. There's no carcinogenics in the juice. Just wake up and get into other groups. Yes, advocating in vape groups, great. Using the hashtag vaping saves lives, great. But people need to broaden their horizons and get off the vape scene and educate the public. That's worldwide. That's not just here. That's everywhere.
Everywhere.
The public needs to be won over with it and educating people that are just randomly sharing bullshit stories. But do it nicely. Do it politely. Don't go in all guns blazing, shooting them down, because that's just going to do us no good either. It has to be done right, and there has to be a level of diplomacy in it.
Yeah, that's actually why my wife laughs at me sometimes, because I focus on that with everybody. Like, I've spent 30 minutes with my delivery driver at the shop, like educating her. Actually, both of them, FedEx and UPS. I've spent time at gas stations, educating people at the gas pump, at the grocery store. Anytime anyone ever says anything to me about vaping and they're not a vapor, I make sure to pop in there and, give them a little education on what's actually going on.
Oh, evening, Paul.
Oh, Taco.
What's occurring, guys?
How you doing?
I feel like getting breath back after a run. I've just done a rabbit run.
I know. I just caught the tail end of it. So just walked in the door. Absolutely hectic on the way home. So I just wanted to pop in and say hi to everybody and see how we're all doing.
How are you doing?
Shattered.
Exhausted? Yeah,
definitely in need of some dinner and probably a little lie down, I think.
In a very dark room.
Well, make sure you get some good rest tonight, because I know you're exhausted.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Well, I just wanted to come and say hi to all the leaders, and especially to the ones who came and saw us all at the show. Sorry I didn't get much chance to speak to everybody, certainly not today. Wasn't the best of days for me, but just wanted to say hi to everybody and show off my new as well. Got the new QP Gator, I think it's called. Right.
Went back.
Sweet.
I looked at that with you, and then you go back today for that.
Yeah.
What are you running in it?
So running in this, I've got some sweets of the juice, watermelon, berry, 20 milligram Nixol.
Ooh.
To kind of really, see what it's all about. My coil is a nasty coil, 0.45. In here, we're at 15 watts, and it is absolutely cracking.
That sounds yummy.
It is really good.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna order me one of those. I saw when they were teasing them a couple months ago. They look really cool. Is it just a straight mouth to lung?
No, you can do direct lung as well. It's restricted with direct, but you can take off the airflow hole. You can take this bottom ring off and exchange it. And on the other side of it here, it's obviously hidden at the minute, but there is a Cyclops airflow. So you can do it in both options, and you get a bell cap with it, as well as the standard metal cap. So
that's awesome.
So it is really, really good. As far as mouth to lung goes, this is probably one of the best I've tried. Dare I say it's even better than the Cape on Light.
Oh no, that's big talk.
That's big.
The K-Fun Light was nice.
Very nice. But yeah, this is nearly as good. I wouldn't say quite as good yet. Need to give it time to bed in. And once I've really nailed which I prefer, I think it could be up there.
I'm gonna have to snag me one of those.
Definitely. Got to say as well, saw M-Turk at the expo, and he had a very, very nice red Turk V2, which I was very tempted to get.
You should have, man.
I was this close to buying it, and then I realised I hadn't got a red mod or an all black mod, so it wouldn't go on anything. Which is a shame, really, because it was absolutely stunning.
Yeah, Mike's my boy, man. He's a really good dude. I've hung out with him at quite a few events. Actually, I think it was Foxwoods like 2 years ago. We had a really good time together, man. He's a really good person too. But I love that Turk V2. That's definitely one of my favorite RDAs right now.
Yeah, it's great RDA. And again, it's another one which gives you choices. You get the 24 top cap and the 25. So it can run on most things as long as you've got something to match it up with.
That's true.
Yeah. So how is everybody tonight then?
I'm doing really good. It's just what is it, like almost 4 o'clock here. So I know y'all are running late over there.
Yeah.
I've had an interesting day.
I know Vinny.
Yeah, you had a bit of trouble on the way home as well, didn't you, Vinny?
Oh, a nightmare. The drive home was horrific. And I found out what it was in the end.
What was it?
I'm not telling you. I'm not telling your soul because it was completely user error. I will say that's like, no, what I actually realised was after the 4 hours it took me to get home instead of 2, outside my corner shop, and then I realised what it was. I had to drive all the way doing 50 mile an hour.
Brilliant.
And
that's
completely my own fault. Should have seen me. I was like that all the way. I was thinking, something's going to go. My wheel's going to fall off.
So on the way home today, I had a message from a friend of mine, and obviously he's in the chat at the minute. John, he messaged me about a vape shop he went into earlier, and he asked, "Have you got any wire?" The two answers that this ain't a DIY shop, but you are. But I want some wire to build a coil. And mate, what are you on about? It's for an RDA so I can respond. It's like, never heard of an RDA. And this is a vape shop selling stuff to people. And he overheard them telling a lady about how if they use a pod device, it won't last in 5 minutes. The coils won't last. I think he said it was about five minutes or something, he said. Hey, it's mental. And this is a vape shop just round the corner from him. And it's just unreal that these people can open up a store like that and have absolutely no clue about anything to do with, vaping or giving advice or correct advice. These are the kind of people that would tell people to put strawberry tanks on meds.
That's ridiculous, man.
Unreal. I'm just going to tackle a comment made by Rep Smart. I'll just bring it up. I'm thinking of paying for a private lung x-ray and breathing analysis, publishing it to show how functionality compares to a smoker's. I can actually deal with that because what actually pushed me to stop smoking was I was struggling. I used to play quite a good level of rugby here in the UK, and I was struggling to breathe as a smoker when I was playing. I was completely blowing out my ass and running out of gas. So I went and had a lung function test where you sit in this big chamber with an oxygen mask on, and they basically force oxygen in and then don't give you enough oxygen, and it works out how your lungs function and the percentages on each side of your lungs and everything else like that. And my lung performance was pathetic. It was like that of a 60-year-old. This was when I was smoking. Now, obviously, I've done some training and I'm a health professional now. I actually took advantage of that and actually asked for another test on one of my clinical placements because it was right next to the lung function test. This was 3 years after I quit smoking and started to vape, and my lung function test then came back at my age.
Yeah.
So my lungs have gone from performing of a 60-year-old to that of someone of my own age, which was at that time a 20-year drop.
Yeah.
So obviously, the function it worked out. My lung function was 65% better once I'd actually stopped smoking and started to vape.
Yeah.
That's the difference it makes. Sorry, that was just going off topic and answering Acapella's question there.
No, good. Oh, and of course, met Acapella for the first time as well this weekend, and had a look at his mods. They are damn good.
That's awesome.
I also saw one of his coated ones as well, not the coated ones, the patina ones.
Nice.
That is impressive.
All done by what's he called?
Muddy.
Yeah. Really, really nice.
Yeah, it was very, very nice. Very nice. So I may have to get one of them. I am a collector, as you know. I like shinies, and that one really got me.
Hey, Paul, before you got on, we were actually talking about advocacy and about how things are going in the U.S. and like things that people should be aware of and what they should be doing, every time they get a chance. While we got you on here, why don't you give them your side of that, like, how you see that?
Right, in America, on the US side,
or all over, like, period, like advocacy on a whole.
Yeah, done a lot of talking about advocacy over the weekend with a lot of the guys that I bumped into because, there was a lot of Americans there as well as UK guys, and the Americans they kind of look at what you're doing and think, wow, this is like completely different to how the shows are. Sorry, I'm holding my phone up, so let's say I've just walked into some. I'm not set up for that. It's like they can see that we're not afraid to kind of embrace vaping still, enjoy it, do what we like to, and what we've liked for years now, and how our politicians have kind of embraced it, the medical side of things, really embracing everything to do with vaping, and how it's helping a lot of people. And the general conviction that I got from it was that it seems that a lot of it is falling on deaf ears, especially at like the governor level. They kind of like, they hear what we're saying, but like Romeo said, so what? And it's really, really different from what we expected, because you get some states who are like, yeah, I think this is all right, they kind of agree with the research that's out there, and have not just gone, oh well, that state's done it, I'm going to do it, or this state hasn't done it, so I'm not going to do it. They're actually looking at it objectively. I think if the big states follow suit with how the little ones do, then I think maybe it will bring some of the unity back, into vaping, especially at the various states. And I think that's the biggest thing, is trying to get the big hitters to kind of not necessarily overturn everything immediately, because I don't think they would just say, right, okay, everything's back to normal. It's never going to be the same.
Yeah.
But at least kind of consider that other countries who've done all of this research are actually correct, and embrace that ideal as well, and not just think, well, we'll do our own research, because the UK is only a tiny country, what do they know, or India or wherever. So they need to kind of just say, you know what, let's go there, we'll do our research, and if it comes up with the same result, which I'm pretty sure it will, they can then say, do you know what, maybe it's not as bad, let's try and, speak to the store owners, what can we do, and like, I know you do it in your store, Robert, you ID everybody who walks in that door. They could walk in looking like me, grey beard, and anything, but still asking for ID.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. I think one of the big things that needs to be changed over here, is something which we should look at. Me and Zippy were talking about this today, and yesterday, in fact. Follow what they should do in America. Kick out all of these vaping, instruments, juice, cotton, coils, whatever, from places like petrol stations and grocery stores. They've got no business doing that. The people who are selling them haven't got a clue about what they are, how to use it. You go and ask somebody who works in our local ASDA, which nicotine strength should I get in this juice that they're selling? They won't know. They won't have a clue. They'll just go, well, this one's cola, or this one's lemon. Put it into the stores, put it into shops that will know exactly what it is you need, how to use it safely, and what you should do if you have any problems, or if you have any issues, you don't know how to use something, or anything.
See, I'd counteract that argument personally, because a lot of them convenience shops, petrol stations, and things is the gateway of people getting into vaping.
Yeah,
I mean, the first vape I bought was from a petrol station. It was bloody awful. It was one of them electric things that glowed on the ends. I used it for about a day, and then went and got something else, the old silica stick pen ones.
Yeah,
but I understand that people want to get vaping out of the hands of petrol stations and convenience shops. I don't really think that's as much an issue as it's made out to be. I think there needs to be more education for the people that are selling them, whether that comes from the industry or from the companies supplying them. That would be the way of doing it.
I was going to say, or even if you could find a way to get maybe get a way to do some kind of like joint advertising with these shops, like maybe, you know what I'm saying, like have some kind of way. There's got to be a better way to get the information out there without opening it up to make it so easy for younger people to purchase it. I kind of see it from both sides. I see where Paul's coming from, and I see where Vinny's coming from, and I feel like there's got to be a middle ground. Like maybe not take it out of gas stations, but to the point where I actually got my first vape at a gas station too. But back then they just sold the little cig-a-lights. So maybe just leave it like that. Maybe they can just sell the little cig-a-lights, and it gives people an option. And then they start to get curious about what vaping is, and then that pushes them to the actual shops who can educate them and show them more of the actual side of vaping. I think they need to limit the things that are in the actual gas stations, because as of right now, we have gas stations that are selling like 100 ml bottles of juice and like mods and shit. I mean, like Radio Shack in the mall was selling mods. Like, in my opinion, that shouldn't be a thing at all. Like, you should not be able to go in a Radio Shack and buy a vape mod. Like, that blows my mind. But I think there should be some kind of option to help people find the safer alternative, but maybe not have so much, like, no gas station should be a competition for a vape shop. A vape shop is an educated place where you can go and learn about the things that have to do with vaping. A convenience store is just that. It's in the name, convenience. It's because you're stopping there, you're on your way home, you need to get gas, you need to grab a bottle of milk, you got to grab some drinks, you maybe grab your cigarettes, and then you say, well, what's that? Like, having an option there, I think, is good, but maybe not such a broad spectrum. Like, they offer everything, and I don't think it should be that way. I think if you're going to have actual juice bottles and mods and coils and stuff like that, it should be at a shop. I think if you're in a gas station, a cig-a-light's fine, but we need to regulate that better, because allowing kids to walk in with a fake ID and buy a freaking cig-a-light's not okay, in my opinion.
No, exactly. And like Sippy's just said there, they only care about the sale. That's the thing. And if you look at a lot of these kind of, I mean, especially where I'm based here, a lot of these people, they don't care. You could go in there, you could buy a 6-pack of beer, you could buy your smokes, you could buy your vape, you can do whatever you want in these shops. 9 times out of 10, they will not check how old you are. And I mean, I've never ever been stopped, ID'd, checked or anything. Even when I was a lot younger and less hairy,
I was going to say, you look like a grizzly bear, so.
Yeah, but I'd never once been stopped for anything. And this is from 14 years old, and right the way through, I've never been stopped and said, are you old enough to have this? I could have just gone in there, bought a bottle of whiskey if I wanted to, and nobody was saying anything, So, quite rightly, these shops, the convenience side of it is, I want to go in, I don't want to buy expensive smokes now, but I'll pick up a bottle of juice from the bank, But going in there and you see some of these ones which have, like Rabbit says, dual 18650 mods. Now, these are more of I know about vaping, I've used vapes for a while, I've progressed on like a Lego pen. I've got something a little bit more advanced. Take those side of things away. Make them go. Somebody will go to a vape store and ask about that. How do I use this? How do I charge my batteries? What do I do if there's a tear? All of this kind of info you're not going to get from the dude at a corner shop who isn't going to care. They just want 30 quid if you're buying it, and out the door you go. So that's how.
That's where I think the companies that are selling to these shops should have some sort of. I know Zippy said the trading standards here in the UK covers this, but those manufacturers and wholesalers that are selling to these shops should instill some sort of knowledge, even at a basic level, to these stores, the convenience stores, the petrol stations, about the devices. Even down to licensing. I know most vape shops have to have a license these days in various parts of the world. Maybe even to that extent in the UK here as well, maybe. It's just about it. It's education, because education is power at the end of the day. It really is. But yeah.
I want to address one of the comments. Combat Cook, his name is actually JR. He's a local to me. How do you guys feel about the Truth ad company running an anti-vape campaign? Granted, Truth has always been about children. Okay, so actually, I'm glad you asked that. On that topic, there's actually been a little research done into the backing of Truth. The Truth backing, where their money comes from. Also, what is it? PAVE, Parents Against Vaping, something like that, PAVE. And there's a couple others that are running big anti-vaping campaigns. And when you follow the money, it actually leads back to big tobacco companies like Altria and companies like that. So, in my opinion, I can't stand these freaking campaigns because not only is it straight propaganda and negativity, but it's an obvious agenda pushed campaign. Like you can see it. Like when you watch these commercials and these ads and these posts, you can see that it's an agenda pushed campaign. I mean, honestly, if it wasn't against the vaping industry, I would be super impressed because of the way that they attacked us in the U.S. was brilliant. It was actually super smart, and I give them kudos for that because they hit us from so many different angles, and it was precise. It was like a sniper that has to take out the bad guy. Like it was direct shots, and they were perfect. And it almost worked. I mean, you got to admit, like we're in the fight of our lives right now, and I feel like we're finally getting some positive traction. But from a vapor, it's scary to see it happen. But from a businessman, it's fucking brilliant. Like these guys, they put forth a plan to eliminate an entire industry, and they almost succeeded. Like it was brilliant. They sat back and they held these little campaigns and these little commercials and these little things off to the side, and they waited and waited until there was a something to jump on. Almost like a wolf that's hunting something and it gets wounded, and they're like, "Oh yeah, now I got him." That's exactly what they waited for. As soon as these THC cartridges popped up and people started getting hurt, all of a sudden you see this shit come out of nowhere, and we're surrounded by it. And it's like, oh, it's a teen epidemic. Kids are vaping. Oh, it's an epidemic. People are dying. Oh, epidemic. And it was just so precise. Like it's insanity to watch it from the outside because it was almost like if you've ever when I was in high school, I got jumped one time. It was like 6 or 7 guys jumped me at one time. If you've ever had that happen, that's what it felt like for the vaping industry. It felt like we were getting attacked from all sides, and there was no way to get out of Jesus. There was no way to get out of it. Like we were just, it was like we were completely surrounded, and it was like boom, boom, boom. Like it's crazy how they did it. But yeah, I'm definitely not. I'm not down with the Truth stuff, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like they used that as the catalyst they needed to push their own agenda, and they ran with it. You know, they didn't wait for any sort of responses from anybody that's like, right, this is it. This is our chance to kind of do what we want. And yeah, they just ran with it before they had any of the facts, not even some of them. They just knew that people were getting sick, and that's all they needed to then go, right, we're going to take that and we're going to push this. And in a lot of states, it's worked. It's done exactly what we wanted it to do, which is just right back towards big tobacco, big pharma, all of that, you know, stuff. That's exactly where it's pushed them back to, all for the sake of a couple of quid.
Yeah, exactly. You know, greed.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, Rex Matt just made a cracking comment there. Bringing a license, a test that proprietors have to take so they could demonstrate that they can sell responsibly. That makes so much sense, Rex Matt. That really, really does.
Yeah.
I know you can't really compare vaping and what we do to any other industry, like, say, alcohol or anything like that, or gambling or anything. But in every one of those kind of things, it says act responsibly.
Yes.
Exactly that on the tin. You see an advert for a gambling website, it says gamble responsibly. And these shops aren't doing that at all. They're just going, thank you, I'll take that. Like, you know, they don't care. They have zero care in the world. They just want the money.
Yeah, that's the sad part. It's all about the greed.
It is.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah.
honestly, I agree with that, though. I think that test the proprietors, man, that's a great idea. Like, you know me, I'm totally down with that. Like, if they want to bring in a test and then you have to be a licensed and you have to pass the test, you have to be a licensed shop to sell vaping, anything vape related, I am totally down with that. Like, that is brilliant.
Well, Vinny will know about this as well. I mean, when Juul kind of popped up on the scene, you know, especially here in the UK, because obviously we didn't get it at the same time as you, you know, they would send mystery shoppers, shall we say, or their reps into vape shops and quiz them about their product. And when they say, right, okay, what kind of smoke are you? What would you do? What, you know, what's your habits like? They would then obviously educate them. This is the right kind of thing set up for you. You know, give this one a try. What do you think? You know, whereas the Juul representative, like, why didn't you offer our product? This is the right one.
Yeah, the famous example of that was Empire Vapes, wasn't it? Chris at Empire Vape.
Yeah.
He did a whole video on it. Basically, the Juul representatives sent somebody in as a mystery customer. And then about a week later, he got a letter through the post, and then a rep turned up, and they wanted to know why he wasn't pushing their products.
Yeah.
Why he hadn't done that. And he just went around and went, have your stuff back. Fair play to the guy. Chris is, But yeah, the Juul have started doing some very dodgy tactics here in the UK with vape shops.
Here's another bit of info on my way down to Expo. Now, I got a lift down with a couple of friends, you know, and one who worked in a vape shop, and he was handed a Juul pop. And I had it, and he pulled it out of his pocket and says, "Hey man, have you seen these?" I went, "Is that a Juul?" He went, "Yeah." He says, "Have you ever tried one?" I went, "No." I told him why, and then I told him about what's happened in the States, how they're going around high schools and all this shit they were doing there. And you know what he did? He rolled down the window, threw it out the window. I was like, that's it. Anything to do with Juul is out. Because he hadn't been involved as much with all the propaganda and all the bullshit that's been going on. He knew of it. He knew what was happening. He knew what's been happening in America with the kids and everything, and the people who have been getting sick. He knew all about that, but he didn't know about that side of things. So when I told him, I say, window was down and it was gone straight away. First thing he said is, when I get back to work on Monday, anything out of my shop, gone. So, brilliant. Not so good for whoever was following behind, because it just saw a pod go flying out the window. But the sentiment is there, you know, and that is exactly what we should be doing to people like that. You know, this company is just absolutely crazy. They've got no scruples. They don't care. They just want the money.
That's the truth, though.
Yeah, that is the truth.
Yeah, you know who doesn't carry any closed pod systems or Juul stuff? None. I haven't carried any since we opened. I don't believe in their product, man. I think there's more harm caused by it than there is help. Yeah. I think if you can get somebody on a dripper or a nice sub-ohm tank, you get them on a 3 milligram, they're going to be way better off than vaping 50 milligram in a pod a day. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I think I shared it with you guys before, didn't I? It came up on one of the advocacy groups that I'm in. Some company, I don't know what they're called now, but they've created an inhaler that delivers nicotine. Now, this is every puff, it's 10 milligram of nicotine per puff, and it's good for 250 puffs. The blurb that they were pushing out there to try and get people interested in it was, you have menthol and you have tobacco flavour. You click on the shop front page of their little post, so you see all this nice little chemical lab tests and all this lot, and then it says it comes in these great flavors. You've got orange and mango, you've got apple, blackthorn, grape, tobacco, menthol with ice with grape, all different kinds of things. And it's an inhaler. It looks identical to the one that anybody with asthma would use.
I saw that.
No pocket. We've had great fun with that because all they're going to do is go, I'm sorry, sir, this is for my asthma. That teacher's not going to think anything. That parent's not going to think of anything. If you get stopped by a cop, are they going to check it? No,
and you know what? I wonder if the little cartridges can come out of that and actually go in and inhale a packet as well.
It's just as bad as the watches.
It's an actual inhaler. And exactly the same as what you would use if you was having an asthma attack or you needed that. Exactly the same. Same design. Uses the same propellant as well.
Just a nicotine inhaler.
But
insane.
10 milligrams of nicotine per hit, and there's 230 of them in a single canister.
Was that in the States, Paul?
It was in the States.
I believe it's FDA approved, doesn't it, as well?
No, they don't. It doesn't have to be FDA approved. No.
I thought it had been though.
No.
I might be wrong. I thought it had been something else.
They don't have to be FDA approved because of, I think it's because there's no liquids or anything like that in there. It's ethanol based propellant.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't have to be to any of what they say.
That's
not at all. Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's that has been latched onto because they can see a gap in the market now because of these bans and everything that's coming into play because that's all they've said. You know, no vape juice. Okay, it's not vape liquid. It's not e-juice. We can get away with it.
That's
so it's another. It's a shady move from a company who saw a gap in the market and right, we can make some money here.
Profits.
You can't have Jules anymore, kids. But hey, have this instead. And there's nothing limiting to how many times you go in one go.
Jesus, and 10 milligram each one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you heard about it, but when I know it was a big thing when I was a kid. That's it. Exactly that. But when I was a kid, a lot of kids used to take 2 big puffs of that and then have the vape run into them because it gives them a massive head rush and they have a good time. So they use it to get high. So what's going to stop a kid from grabbing one of them, taking 5 big hits of that, and then,
exactly.
Then you're going to have a bad situation. That kid's going to be in a bad way. It's not good.
Jesus Christ.
I know it should be rabbits rants, but it seems like I've got 50p in me today. But yeah, I'm very tired, so I am going to be getting off now. My battery is incredibly low. I managed to find a plug on the train, but it didn't work. So I'm going to have to love you and leave you, everybody, and I will catch you in a bit.
Love you, Paul.
Take it easy, guys.
Yeah, peace out, Paul. Look after yourself, buddy.
You too.
But yeah, I think we're wrapping up soon anyway for it all. So, League of Extraordinary Ranters. Yes, we've had a good rant tonight, and deservedly so as well, really. I think a lot of it needed to be said as well tonight. Especially with what's gone on with the advocacy stuff at the UK Expo been hid away, and we need to get the advocacy out of vape groups. Like I said earlier, it's not the vape groups you need to be promoting your advocacy in, it's the public arena groups, newspapers sharing the bullshit stories, and various other groups. I mean, there was a Daily Mail one the other day that I was on for a long while commenting on and sharing the Public Health England evidence, and people were still just in complete denial and everything like that. And it's just, that's where we need to be. That's where the advocacy needs to go. Yes, we do this show what the guys don't know is this actually gets shared to some of the nursing groups as well, but I have access to now with the Royal College of Nurses and things. And the advocacy side can be shared there. So the health professionals in the UK are getting the evidence base as well, and things like that. So hopefully that will help this side. Your side of the planet, Rabbit, I ain't got a clue what we're going to do, bro. Really haven't.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna keep pushing what I do, man. I'm gonna keep, pushing the positivity, the education. That's all we can do. Like, in my opinion, that's our best thing, is to just get out there and reach the public, reach the people that are not in these groups, the non-vapers, the people that are still smoking. Don't be afraid to walk up to somebody on the street that you see smoking and educate them on it, and explain to them that there is a safer alternative, and that not to believe that the crap the media is shoving down their throat. Like, find opportunities to seize them and use them to educate people on the facts. Like, I do it all the time. I really do. Kate's a witness. Like, any chance I can get to speak with somebody about vaping, I do it. We have to turn away from that stigma and show people that it's not what the media is telling everybody it is, that it's a community that's based on love and positivity, and that wants to help people. Like, that's our goal.
Yeah, definitely. Zippy was just asking, that picture you had of that inhaler, is there a picture of just the canister? Because I'm quite curious to see if that will fit in a normal Ventolin inhaler. You know, the picture of the inhaler. Is there actually a picture of the canister so we can actually see the fitment? Because if that actually fits into a normal Ventolin asthmatic inhaler, then that's going to be really, yeah, yeah, it is. So exactly, you can see it at the top there. There's a little fitment that goes into the bottom of it.
Yeah,
it's the activator. Yeah, it bloody is. I swear it is. Yeah, I think it is, Zippy. I think that would fit a Ventolin inhaler, which is proper crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, that really is.
Then I could just take it out of the white plastic and put it into a normal Ventolin casing. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it blows my mind.
10 milligrams. That is mental.
What if somebody just grabbed it and was like...
Well, yeah, 10 of them, that's 100 milligrams of nicotine.
Yeah, and you're freaking shaking and twitching and passed out. Like, that's crazy.
Christ. That is insanity. That's just going to cause so many problems.
I wanted to remind everybody that the rally in DC is coming up for US, and me and my wife Kate are going to get on the live show from the rally. So all the leaguers know, we'll probably do a show on a Saturday while we're at the rally, and that way we can show everybody what we're doing over here. We'll make sure to check in with everybody on the page. So if you're not following us on all of our social medias, make sure you are. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you're following or subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get all the updates and stuff. We're definitely going to do a live stream, Denise, on November 9th. Let's see, who else? Oh, yeah, John, I see you commenting. John will be there, too. So I'll make sure to get all the American leaguers to pop in and say hi to all you guys across the pond. And I think it's going to be a really good event, something very positive, full of love. You know, everyone's going to be there to just show that we can stand united as a family and do something, positive to make change. That's our goal. From what I hear, it's going to be a huge turnout. So I want to make sure that all you guys over in the UK can see, what it is and what we're doing there, and make y'all a part of it. That's one big thing about our show, is that we try to keep both the UK and the US connected as a whole, and keep both sides informed. That's why we were talking earlier about the UK expo, because I wanted all my US leaguers to be able to hear about it and see about it. So make sure on November 9th that you have your subscribe button clicked. Make sure you know when we're going live, because we're gonna be there, me and my wife Kate, and we're gonna show y'all everything going on. I think it's going to be a really good, positive thing. And I think it'd be good for everybody to see what we're doing over here in the U.S. too.
Yeah, and I'll get that shared, Rabbit. If you get that onto the page, I've obviously got access to quite a lot of groups, so I'll share it to my page, and then I can put that everywhere.
We're working
And I'll
on
do that.
We're working on a movement, people. We stand united. We fight as vapors, as a front, as a whole. Everyone, we are all family. Do not forget that. And every time you comment on a post, every time you see anything, every time you talk to somebody, remember you're representing an industry of people. So stay positive, stay informative above all else. We need to educate. Always educate every chance you get. If you see a smoker, if anyone says anything to you about vaping, just stop for a minute and speak to them and just tell them the truth. We have to do that. Like, we have to. This is super important to me. Education is super important to me. Even besides vaping, education is super important to me. But when it comes to vaping, we need this more now than we ever have. We have got to educate every single person that we come in contact with. If you think about it like I do, I figure we've got, quite a few million vapors in the U.S. If every one of the vapors in the U.S., just one person, if every one of you reached out to one person, we double our numbers and people that understand what we're going through. If you reach out to 5 people, think about that for a minute. Like, we're talking from 10 million to 50 million people educated on the fact of what's going on and what they need to know, the truth, the facts. Like, that's insane. We have an option to do that. We can do that if everyone educates everyone they come in contact with about the facts. So just stay positive, people. We absolutely love you guys, every one of you. We love all the support and love that we get from the leaguers. We got a lot of big things in the works right now, like really big things. We're working on some cool stuff for the guys for our followers. I can't really talk about something that I'm right now, but I got something coming up that's going to make it a lot easier for y'all to get in contact with us and to stream the show. But it's going to be big, so make sure you're following and subscribed. Follow us on all platforms, and like I said, just keep the education going, man. I love you guys. Keep fighting. Do not stop fighting, ever.
Spread that education wide, not just in your vape groups. Get it out wide. Share it on your own personal walls. That's a starting point. And then go wider and wider. Think out of the box, people. It's not just the vape groups. They're the people that are already doing it. We need to go further, educate Joe Public more and more everywhere around the world, not just in our own little places, everywhere. We need to just... It's a revolution. It's a community, unity in community. It's more than that. We need to go further, a lot further. And yeah, I think we'll end it, Rabbit, before we go even crazier and have another joint run. Thank you all for tuning in, and the lovely comments and the feedback and everything from everybody in the chat. It's been awesome. I have just burnt my nasal there because my mech just flamed on me, so I need to go check my nose is still attached. Major dry it, and I managed to keep it down. Just right. Thank you all. Much love to everybody for tuning in. We will be back next week. Hopefully, the rest of the panel will be back with us. Much love to you all. Respect. Keep doing what we're doing. Keep tuning in, and thank you all for the support. Any questions? Any subjects? Anything like that? Rabbits, just pop the email up there. We'll talk about Hella from AA on the show at some point. I know Ariel wants to come back on at some point, and a few other people want to jump in. Ron Peoples from the Juice Company wants to come on at some point and have a talk.
Awesome.
So there's lots of things coming and some really amazing stuff coming for you all as well. So, yeah, I'm done, Rabbit.
Love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Make sure to follow us everywhere because we're going to be posting tons of tons of videos and stuff. They're going to post some videos of the show so y'all can see what happened over in the UK at the expo. And we're going to get tons of freaking content while we're out in DC. So y'all be ready for an overflow of content. And we love you guys. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you again next week.
That's